Hey there, Danny here. Welcome to my ramblings. Um, so here's why I want you to learn to love yourself and find your true authentic self. Have your walk with the man upstairs. Don't care if you call God, you call him God, you call him the universe, whatever, divine, whatever you want to call him, whatever higher power you want to associate with, but your walk with the man upstairs. The reason that you learn to find your true authentic self and love yourself is because it's a protection, like an almost invisible shield around you. And let me explain why. Because you can't see what doesn't take place in front of you. So if people are talking behind your back or they're plotting against you behind your back, doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter how you know them. It's all that's totally irrelevant. When you learn to love yourself and find your true authentic self, that walk with the man upstairs, he sees everything. He sees the people in your life that is doing you wrong, that are being shady, that aren't being loyal and honest, that aren't worth your energy or your time. He sees all of this. And when you start your walk with him and you learn to love yourself and find your true authentic self, the reason that it's almost like an invisible cloak is because you don't care about any of that. You know they're talking. You don't care. Because here's why. You don't care because he sees what's going on as long as you keep following what you're following with your walk with the man upstairs. These people can't do anything to you. They can't hurt you. They can't touch you. Here's why. They can't do it because they can't take your peace from you. Because before you learn to love yourself and find your true authentic self, you looked for external validation. You looked for approval. We all do it. I did it. I was really bad with it. You look for external validation to support that you're on the right path. That's wrong. Because you're expecting a human being to have some sort of power over your future. What sense does that make? None to me. He's the one that has the power. And once you start to walk with him, once you learn to find yourself, your true authentic self, and love yourself, the walk with him, you don't care. You don't want external validation. Honestly, when the haters come at you and these people who pretend to be your friends, the manipulators and the users, you're going to be able to, because you're walking with him, you're going to see it immediately. You don't believe it. That was my biggest fear in the last 5 years of this transformation that I've been doing. That was my biggest fear, was how will I know? How will I know? How far do I got to get into knowing these people in order to find this stuff out? You don't have to get far. And the people that are in your life, once you see the disrespect, you literally cut it off. That person doesn't have access to your energy anymore. You can still be polite to them. You can still see them, but you don't hang out with them anymore. You don't confide in them anymore. You don't share anything about your life with them anymore because they don't have your best interest at heart. See, as long as you're sharing that information with them, then they think that they have some sort of control over you. Because we humans tend to think, which is just human nature, for us to think that other human beings think like us. That's not true. The whole reason that our world is divided the way that it is because we all are trying to force everybody to think the same. So if you look at cultures, they're trying to force essentially they're trying to force the people in that culture to all of them think the same way. Well, that's what causes division. Because when you think one particular way and you want everybody to think that way, you're essentially saying, we don't care that you're an individual. We're telling you that it has to be this way. Because this will keep peace with everybody. It keeps peace with who? It doesn't. It keeps division, because once you are firmly entrenched in those values, those morals, what that culture has taught you, you're essentially saying that this man who gave you the uniqueness that you are, the individual that you are, the man upstairs who gave that to you, God, you're essentially saying he doesn't know what he's talking about. I must follow these people. Literally. You should be following the man upstairs. If you want to bring peace and harmony to this earth, to this world, we have to learn to accept and embrace our uniqueness. The things that make us different are what bring us together, not the things that force us to conform. And I am not talking, and I'm going to put this on here, and I don't care what anybody thinks. I am not saying there needs to be acceptance of like transgender and that stuff, because transgender literally equals God made a mistake. And a perfect God never makes a mistake. So well, I'm just going to go off on this little tangent here for a few seconds. Well, probably a few minutes. But so my problem with transgender isn't that they want to be a woman. It's not that a man wants to be a woman. I don't care that he wants to be a woman. That's irrelevant. You be a woman if that's what you want. However, if you have you go through the hormone change and the sex change, that's fine. You're now considered a woman. But there's one problem. Your muscle mass is not the same as ours. And you're essentially saying, because I'm transgender, I deserve the same equal rights that women have. However, I have not seen one transgender person ask us women if we want to accept them into it and get our butts kicked because their physical makeup is not at the equivalent of us. They never asked us. They just went ahead and said that we have to accept them. But they don't have to accept that. They never asked us, hey, we want you to accept us, so here, let us, here's what we're offering, blah, 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 accept us. No, instead they came in and they forced us to accept it. And they forced women to get their asses beat by a body mass that is not made up to be equal to them. Don't care about the hormones. Don't care about the sex change. You still, muscularly, are built different than we are. You can't change that. You're going to change all your muscles? Come on now. It doesn't work that way. Hormones can change some of it, but it's not going to make it an even physical playing field. It's just not. And they're not caring. The transgender, they are not caring about women's safety. Their actions, any transgender that has gone into a female bathroom or has gone into a sport and played against women they do not care about women. Because if they did, then they would automatically think of their safety. Well, I understand why these women don't want us in there. They're scared of the situation. Why don't we befriend the women and see if they will accept us in? Instead, we're just going to go slamming in and saying that you must accept us and you must accept that we beat your ass physically because your muscle mass and our muscle mass are totally different things. But I want to be a woman, so you better accept me. How is that not oppressing women? Because a small number of people who want to be the opposite sex that the man upstairs gave them means that the rest of us have to conform? Come on. Come on. The ones who are going in the women's bathroom and are playing in the sports and you were born a male, I'm 100% telling you right now that you don't care about women. Your actions prove you do not care about women. You want to dominate. Because in your crazy mind, you think that women have some sort of power that you don't have. So if you can become one of them, then you can have that power. You can't. You can't. You can give all the hormones you want, whatever you want. Your body makeup, made up by the man upstairs, God, will never be equal to mine or any other woman. It's just the way it works. Trying to oppress us and force us into something, to accept something. And here's the funny part. It's a small number. If you really look at how many people are on this earth, and you were to look at how many people are actually transgender, it's such a small amount. So the masses, the majority of the women, should conform to this small group, so they're not oppressed. But if they were oppressed, they would understand. If they were truly oppressed, they would understand that if I play in sports or I go into a woman's bathroom, that I'm invading that woman's safety. And I know what it feels like being transgender to be oppressed. So I don't want to oppress the women. I want them to accept me. Do you see how their actions say they don't care about anybody but themselves? I'll get off my soapbox and go back. So, you don't have to deal with it because you don't look for external validation. The only person, and he's not even a person, the only being, well, he is through Jesus, but that's a whole nother topic. Anyways, the only being that you have to get validation and approval from is the man upstairs. And if you are on your walk with him, you don't ever have to worry about what people say. You bite your tongue, you say goodbye. Either that's you're out of my life permanently, or you're at arm's length. That means I'm going to say hi and bye to you. I might have a little simple, superficial conversation with you, but we're not getting into a lot of personal stuff. I already know that you don't have my best interest at heart, and I'm not getting drugged back down to your energetic level. I worked real hard to get up to this energetic level. I worked real hard for my energy to be able to communicate with the man upstairs. That's what loving yourself and finding your true authentic self is. God is love. That's exactly what he is. Think about it. Here's the other part that comes with it, and this is kind of funny. So we talk about karma all the time, right? Constantly talk about karma. And when you're in the throes of being angry and thinking up those revengeful thoughts, all you keep thinking to yourself is I just want them to get their karma and I want to see it. I said it all the time. I thought it all the time. Here's the problem with it. When you start your walk and you learn to find your true authentic self and love yourself, the best part is you then don't want those people to get karma. Do you know why? Here's why. Because you now are able to look at them and say, shit, they're stuck. They're stuck. You know that karma that's coming is so then they get a smack upside the head and start changing for the better so they can do what they came here to do. Instead, you know that they're staying stuck by their own choosing, because we all have free will. So at that point, you're like, I don't want to see them get hurt. I don't want to see them go through what they've got coming. At that point, you're like, you know what? I forgive them. God, forgive them, will you? And you don't care anymore. You don't care anymore for one reason, because you don't take what they're doing personal. You know it has nothing to do with you. All of it's just projection. They're projecting who they are onto you so they can feel better about themselves. And the reason that they do this, the reason that they project who they are onto you, is because they know deep down within themselves, they don't want to admit it to themselves or anybody else, but deep down inside, they know that you're better than they are. You're better than they are. And I'm not talking better as in a better person. You are better because you are walking with the man upstairs. He is your guide. And you are doing what you are supposed to do. And that makes you a better person altogether. And the more you walk with him, the better you become. They don't want to do the work. They want what you have. They want that peace, that freedom, that confidence that you have. They want that. But they don't want to do the work to get there. And you know that. When you get to this point, you know that. And then you feel sorry for them. That if they could just, you start asking the man upstairs if they could just open their eyes and see, they could have a better life. They could have a better world to live in. And that's what you ask for them. And you let it go, because the truth is, once you learn to love yourself and find your true authentic self, you have absolutely no desire to deal with any of it at all. Well, anyways, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to have to go back to work here shortly. I can hear, I don't know if you can hear it or not, but I can hear it starting to slightly drizzle outside. So that usually means good money. People don't want to come out here in the rain. I'm not sure why, because most of us come from either the Midwest or the East Coast, and there's snow there, but people here don't know how to drive in the rain. It confuses me, but the roads become like a ghost town, and people tip extra because, well, nobody wants to go out in it. So I'll go get a little wet. It won't hurt me. Anyways, have a great day, guys. I'll see you in a day or two. Love ya.